So yesterday I put out this awesome video where I showcased the incomplete domain Megumi, and he is absolutely amazing. Not only is he a crazy damage dealer, but also a awesome support too. Absolutely worth having, worth using, and is going to be amazing in any team composition. Also, obviously, alongside Yuta, with that being the case. And speaking of Yuta, everyone was expecting Yuta to pop up next. And unfortunately, global gacha is gonna global gacha. So it's not even a GACHA, it's a GOTCHA, because they got you real bad with this one. But I'm bad dad joke there. But that being said, we are gonna talk about this change. We're gonna talk about what to expect, why I think this is happening, and whether or not you should pull now. I hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for all of your JJK Phantom Parade content. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to be having a ton of content. 80% of viewers aren't subscribed, so again, make sure you subscribe and post down below what you're planning to do. So let's start off by reading the notice here. The brand new SSR character, Incomplete Domain, Megumi Fushiguro, is coming soon. Also, Where Shadows Fall Gacha event preview, including the domain Fushiguro there, and then also the recollection bits. The above character and bits will enjoy probability rate up in the Where Shadows Fall gacha. And the crazy thing about this is it's available tomorrow. That's crazy, dude. That is insane. So not only are they moving him up, I'll show you what I mean in a minute, but not only did they move his schedule up a lot, like a month basically, not only did they do that, what they're doing here also is they are bringing out a new gacha after bringing out Junpei's new gacha just a couple of days ago. So that's absurd. So yeah, for details about the gacha, see the in-game announcement. Yeah, so that's look at the comments, bro. That's my boy too. This is way too early. I'm trying to save for Yuta, so please calm down with the pacing. According to your roadmap, even Junpei was early. Junpei was early relative to the Japanese version, I think 3 or 4 days. So here's the deal. So I've said several times that everyone's talking about Yuta, you know, summon for Yuta, blah blah blah, save for Yuta. And that's amazing. Yuta is absolutely worth it. He is crazy good. But the thing with it is that if you're going based off of JP, there were at least 2 other really good characters that were popping up within the next month after Yuta's release. Hollow Purple Gojo, and then also the Fushiguro that is coming out here. Now, he comes out based on JP anyway. He comes out, I believe, 2 or so weeks after Yuta. So that's why I was like, yo, like, you're going for Yuta. That's awesome. But just like, make sure you're aware that there are equivalently good characters on the horizon too, right? So that's the point. But they decided to pull a Houdini here. Like I said, global gacha, man. So why do I think this is happening? Actually, let me answer the question of should you pull. So when you finish this video as a clickable end screen in the last 10 or 15 seconds of the video, you'll have the option to click that little button that'll take you directly to that showcase where I did for him, and check it out. Huge shout out to Black Flash as well, so make sure you subscribe to him in that video's description. Anyway, make sure you do that because you're going to want to see what this guy can do and the value. I go over his kit there. I'm not going to do it so much here, but he is, you summon for Fushiguro. You do summon for Fushiguro. I do not think this is a character that you skip. Now, the thing is that if you skip him, I believe, correct me if I'm mistaken, I'm not a veteran from the Japanese version. I do believe he gets added to the general pool later on. So that's something that you could consider too. You could do that. I'm not sure if the same is available for Yuta. Any vets, please let me know in the comments whether or not Yuta will be added to the pool. I've heard conflicting things. I don't know. So that being said, you could maybe do that. And people have been asking for days now, like if you get the 7-day SSR ticket or the 7 login day SSR ticket, those don't re-roll. And even if they did, they wouldn't let you re-roll for a new character or something like that. They are going to have the same base pool that they have now. They'll always have those. If you sit on them for a year, they'll still have that. So Fushiguro is awesome. He is a crazy output of damage character. The way he can kind of just nuke down enemies. Also doesn't have a turn restriction for you Gojo haters out there. And then also just a bunch of debuffs on the enemy to just enhance everybody's damage. I mean, this one is hilarious every time I see it. 3 turns, 99% damage received debuff. That stacks twice, so that's really, really strong. Technically it could stack 3 times, but I say twice because ideally you're not using that basic skill 3 times in a row, right? But if you do use it, someone else could get benefit off of that, I guess. Anyway, so absolutely awesome character. Why do I think this is happening though? So here's a look at the Japanese version. Like, this is just a tier list of characters, and for the record, there are a lot of really good characters in this game. But one thing I also want to have as a takeaway is that there's good longevity in this game. Like, here's Nobara and Gojo from launch. They're both S or SS. Only really replaced by mostly characters that do the same thing as them with the same name. So global gachas are always kind of weird. Remember, if you watch my first couple of videos, I said, hey, I don't know what their plan is with this game. That's the one thing I'll tell you, is that when they drop a global game after a game's already been in a market for 6 months to a year or whatever it is, there are a few ways they can handle that. I don't know if right now, if what we're seeing right now with these rapid releases is them trying to catch up to the Japanese version, because if it is, we're going to be in for a hell of 6 months. Oh my god, we are going to be in for an insane 6 months on this game. And I say 6 months because if they're going to go at this pace, it probably will only take about 6 months to catch up to a year's worth of content, maybe less. But we're going to be in for an insane period. I don't know if that's kind of exactly what they're doing. What I do think is happening here is that they're in the global launch period, and they're really trying to capitalize. This is why I actually thought, prior to the release of this game, I actually kind of thought that they would drop Yuta right here, like within a week, basically, which is what they're doing with Fushiguro. I actually thought Yuta would either be out instantly or about a week later. If you go back to my video with Zenrod, I said that exact thing, because it makes sense for a global gacha game that is coming out to generate as much money as it possibly can on one of the most hyped situations it can possibly ever be in, and that is the global launch. And they've got a huge backlog of characters too, so that's what's happening there. And Junpei, they know nobody really wanted to summon for him. They know that we know he's not great, and I think that I don't think that they looked at Junpei's performance and were like, oh crap, we need to put a new character out right now. I don't think that's what they did. I think they already kind of knew, but were like, we need to just drop Junpei, which begs the question, why didn't they just add him to the general pool if that was the case from the jump, and just kind of start with this if this is what they were going to do anyway? So I think that's why they're doing this. I think that it's because it's the global celebration. They want to try to bring out hype characters, and Yuta will, man, if Yuta's out any sooner than 2 weeks, I'd be shocked. But you have to really consider that. You have to really consider that. So here's a benefit to that. If they turn around and drop Yuta in like a week or something, the good news is Fushiguro's banner is here until the 28th. Regardless of what they do, this banner is here for 2 weeks. So you have time to wait and see what they're going to do. I can't imagine they drop a third gacha in a week. I can't imagine it. They're going to be the greediest devs of all time if they do that. That's just crazy, right? So I'd imagine it pops up the second this banner leaves. Or maybe the second Junpei's banner leaves, actually. So there probably will be like a 3 or so day lag where they're both up at the same time. And so that gives you time. So like, don't feel pressured instantly to hop on and do some summons for Fushiguro, because I do think there's going to be a few period lag. If we get towards the end of the period and Junpei's left and they haven't dropped the next gacha, which should be Yuta, then obviously make your decision at that point. If you want to get him now, obviously no problem with that. Like, I'll be getting him now but I just don't know, because global gachas, because they have such a backlog, they have liberty to do things the way that they want them to do. And I've got to tell you, man, the thing is that we always like when we have a global gacha game and we can see what's coming in the future, so we can do what we did, which is, hey, save for this. Hey, this is one of the best characters. When this character pops up, make sure you summon. You have foresight. You also have an idea of what characters are going to release in what order and when things are happening. This gives, and by the way, on that topic, devs don't like that. They know that we know it, but they don't like it. So that's why I said in the very beginning, global gacha, gonna global gacha, because that is a very common practice for them to basically shuffle up the order so you don't know. So for example, Yuta could come out in 3 months if they wanted to do that. Like, he could. Who knows, right? He really could. Hollow Purple, that guy could be 6 months away if they wanted to do that. We don't know what the order is for these characters anymore. We officially have no idea what they're doing. This could be a one-off. This could be the norm. We officially have no idea, which is exactly what they want to happen here, right? So that's kind of what they're doing here, and why I think that they're ultimately doing this for the global gacha game, and they have the liberty to do that. So really the question is, are you going to summon? Like I said, post it down below. And if you haven't already, now is the perfect time. Click that video on the screen I talked about earlier. Watch this guy in action, because if you maybe don't know what he does, he is ridiculous. So I'll see you over there.